Hello, everyone. This is Steve with Aptera Owners Club. On April 19th, 2023, Greg Abbott signed a EV law in Texas that basically makes it so that you have to pay $400 when you first register an EV and then $200 every subsequent year after that. And the reasoning behind that is that a lot of the road infrastructure and maintenance is paid for by gas taxes, and EVs don't pay gas taxes because obviously you don't put in gas in EVs, and therefore EVs are using the infrastructure and causing wear on the infrastructure, but not paying for the upkeep and maintenance of the infrastructure, which makes total sense. And I think that governments are going to have to figure out how to make EVs pay for their fair share of road maintenance, and I think there's several ways of doing it, and several other states have started doing it, and they range from $50 in places like Colorado and Hawaii, and to $274 in Tennessee, which is on the high end. Texas has decided that $200 is what they're going to charge per year, and that's probably a little bit punitive, a little bit more than you should. This is someone did it looks like Consumer Reports did a study about what the average amount of state fuel taxes are paid for by drivers of new gas-powered vehicles in the state, and that is $71 because Texas has some of the lowest gas taxes in the country. So if you look at how much does the average new gas-powered car vehicle pay per year, it's $71. So if you wanted to make it equitable, you would say $71 may be equitable. Now, the other thing is you can say that EVs weigh a little bit more on average than gas cars of similar size. So, and then heavier cars cause more wear on roads. So therefore, maybe they should pay a little bit more. But it's hard to say that EV, weighs 3 times as much because they're charging like triple. Um, $200 is almost triple $70. So you're saying that it's triple that. The other thing is that the gas taxes in Texas only account for 29% of the state's road funding. So the gas tax is it's a low percentage of the total. And EVs are such a small amount that kind of making them overpay seems like a way of discouraging EV use more than trying to like correct any kind of budgetary shortfall in their road maintenance. And it's kind of weird because before Texas was giving a $2,500 incentive for the purchase of new EVs. So it's almost like you're kind of punishing EV ownership on one hand and trying to increase EV ownership on the other hand. It's like the left hand and the right hand don't know what they're doing. Now, the thing is that this EV incentive ended on January of 2023, but it started in 2014, and every year they were spending about $3 million on these incentives. So for 9 years, they spent $3 million a year, so probably close to $30 million trying to incentivize EV ownership. And now they passed this law to try to essentially disincentivize EV ownership, which is a little weird. I think, I think the most fair way to do this would be to just charge people at registration um, based on the weight of their vehicle and the mileage they drive. And so it's pretty easy to figure out the mileage. Just look at the odometer every year when they register. So you just like put in the odometer. In California, you have to get smogged, so you could have the smog people do it. And then it's pretty easy to figure out the weight. Like every manufacturer puts the weight of their vehicle. It's pretty easy. A computer can figure it out, and they know which vehicle you have by VIN number and the model when you register the car. So just get the odometer reading and the weight, and then you can just charge people. Get rid of the gas tax and just charge people at registration um, based on weight and mileage. That just seems like the most logical way to do it. And maybe it's logistically too hard, and it's hard to kind of change things essentially. But I think that eventually, as EVs get more popular and they become a bigger portion, this is an issue. States will need to figure out how to deal with EVs to pay for their road infrastructure, and it needs to be done. But I think Texas's proposal is definitely a little bit punitive and trying to disincentivize EV ownership, which is in the end probably something they don't want to do. Especially when they spent $30 million trying to incentivize it in the past. Um, but seems like just charging by weight and mileage seems to be um, the best way to do it. And the other thing is, if you want to say that you're charging vehicles for their cost to society, I mean, you should probably charge people more. Like driving itself causes a lot of air pollution and road pollution, and cars are dangerous. They're very heavy and they move fast, and they're a public health hazard. They cause a lot of accidents and things like that. And when a car crashes into something, that causes a lot more damage than if a bike or a walking person um, crashes into something. So this is a study that looked at how much society pays for certain things. Driving, for every $1 you pay in gas in driving, society is going to pay $9 to, to mitigate the costs of the health effects, the accidents, the noise pollution, the mental health effects on it. Um, and it's much less for like walking or biking. If you wanted to make it equitable, you probably should charge all cars, EVs and gas cars. Well, EVs may pay less because the noise is much less, and the air pollution, at least locally, is much less. Now, you're going to get some air pollution depending on the source of the electricity, but overall, gas vehicles are going to have the highest cost to society, EVs less so, public transit less so, biking and walking the least probably. So those are the other things. If people want to talk about fairness, that's the other thing. That's the other flip side of the coin. But that's probably gets too complicated to calculate. And just in terms of road maintenance, I think weight and mileage is probably the easiest way to calculate it. All right. Well, let me know what you guys think about proposals for road maintenance and how EVs should be dealt with. What do you think about this um, law that Texas recently signed on May 19th? All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.